Hey there, future policymakers. Imagine you're prepping for the UPSC.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about information overload, right?
Definitely.
But what if I told you there's a way to grasp a crucial part of Indian governance?
Okay.
And it's actually fascinating.
I'm listening.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into something called parliamentary forums.
Interesting.
Yeah.
These forums are like specialized think tanks within Parliament,
Yeah.
distinct from the regular committees.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
A group of MPs are super passionate about, let's say, empowering India's youth.
Right.
A forum gives them the structure to truly delve into that issue, bringing in experts, analyzing data, and crafting actionable recommendations.
So the beauty of these forums is that they bridge the gap between knowledge and action.
Exactly.
They don't just talk.
Right.
They advise and advocate for change within Parliament.
Okay, hold on to your hats, because here's where it gets interesting.
Right.
There are 8 of these forums,
Wow.
each tackling a major issue. We're talking water conservation, global warming, even the unique challenges faced by artisans and craftspeople.
It really highlights how Parliament recognizes the diverse sectors that contribute to India's progress.
Let's do a quick roll call just to get a sense of the scope.
Right.
We've got the Forum on Water Conservation and Management established in 2005.
Okay.
And in 2006, we see a trio emerge. The forums on youth, children, and population and public health.
Interesting.
Almost like India realized, hey, these issues need dedicated attention now.
It's fascinating to observe how the establishment of these forums reflects evolving priorities in India's development journey.
Moving on, 2008 saw the creation of the Forum on Global Warming and Climate Change. A hot topic, literally.
Literally.
Then we have disaster management in 2011.
Okay.
Followed by 2 more in 2013, artisans and craftspeople, and the Forum on Millennium Development Goals.
The sheer diversity of issues covered by these forums is truly remarkable.
Before we delve deeper, there's a crucial ground rule. These forums operate on a no-interference policy.
Okay.
They're advisory bodies.
Right.
They recommend and suggest, but don't overstep the boundaries of the actual parliamentary committees.
Think of them as influencing policy from within, respecting the existing structure of Parliament.
Okay, so now that we have a broad overview, let's zero in on a few forums that are particularly relevant for you, our UPSC aspirants.
Okay.
And for anyone who wants to understand India's approach to major challenges.
Given your interests, let's explore the forums on youth and global warming.
Sounds good to me.
These are not only potential essay topics for the UPSC, but also crucial for shaping India's future.
Let's start with the Forum on Youth.
All right.
Now, they're not just debating about young people.
Right.
They're actually engaging with them directly.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
This forum is all about bridging the gap between policy and lived experience.
Yes.
Imagine the insights they gain by interacting with youth representatives and leaders from diverse backgrounds.
It's not just theoretical discussions in some ivory tower.
Not at all.
They're actively seeking to understand the hopes, aspirations, and concerns of young people across India. This direct engagement informs their recommendations and helps shape policies that are more grounded in reality.
That makes sense, but what are some concrete examples of what this forum does? What's their day-to-day like?
One of their key functions is holding focused deliberations on strategies to leverage the potential of youth in accelerating development initiatives. They're essentially exploring how to best involve young people in India's growth story.
So they're looking at the big picture, not just
Right.
isolated issues.
They also work to build greater awareness amongst public leaders and at the grassroots level about the power of youth to affect socioeconomic change. Think of it as a two-pronged approach,
Okay.
empowering youth and advocating for their inclusion in decision-making processes.
Grassroots level.
Yeah.
For those of us who need a quick reminder, what does that mean exactly?
It refers to engaging with communities at the local level, understanding the realities on the ground, and ensuring that policies are relevant and effective for those who are directly impacted.
Got it.
Yeah.
So back to the youth forum.
Yeah?
How does this all connect to the UPSC exam? How could this knowledge come in handy for an aspirant?
Imagine an essay question on youth empowerment or policies aimed at engaging young people in nation building.
Okay.
Understanding the role and functions of the Youth Forum provides you with concrete examples, insights into the mechanisms in place, and a deeper understanding of the government's approach to these issues.
It's like having a secret weapon in your UPSC arsenal.
Right.
You can go beyond textbook definitions and showcase a nuanced understanding of how these forums actually function.
And it's not just about the exam.
Right.
Even beyond that, understanding the role of the Youth Forum gives you a deeper understanding of how India tackles challenges and how young people are actively involved in shaping the country's future.
Okay, that's a powerful takeaway.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears to another pressing issue.
Okay.
Global warming.
Right.
The Forum on Global Warming and Climate Change has a lot on its plate, right?
Indeed, this forum is focused on identifying problems related to global warming and climate change, and then making suggestions and recommendations to the government and relevant organizations.
So they're not just sitting around talking about the weather.
No.
They're actively seeking solutions and pushing for change.
Exactly. They're looking at ways to involve MPs in interacting with specialists from national and international bodies working on this issue. Think of it as facilitating collaboration and knowledge sharing.
Okay.
For instance, they might bring in experts from the United Nations Environment Program or the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change to share their insights and best practices.
That makes sense, and probably pushing for more effort to develop new technologies to combat global warming.
Precisely. They also prioritize raising awareness.
Right.
They organize seminars and workshops to educate MPs about the causes and effects of climate change.
Right, because informed policymakers are crucial for making informed decisions.
Yes.
And it's not just about what happens within the walls of Parliament, right?
Absolutely. They also look at ways to involve MPs in spreading awareness to prevent global warming and climate change at the grassroots level.
Okay.
They want to mobilize action across the board, from policymakers to local communities.
So this forum is doing a lot.
Yeah.
But back to our UPSC aspirants, how does this translate to the exam?
Yeah.
What kind of questions could they ask?
They might ask about India's stance on climate change, the policies being implemented, or the role of Parliament in tackling this global issue.
Okay.
Understanding the functions and work of this forum provides a strong foundation for answering these questions effectively.
Plus, it makes you a more informed citizen, right?
Absolutely.
You understand the complexities of climate change and the efforts being made to address it both within Parliament and on the ground.
Exactly. And that brings us to a crucial question.
Okay.
Why should any of this matter to you?
Well, besides acing the UPSC, of course.
Of course, but seriously, whether you're aiming for the IAS or simply someone who wants to understand how India functions, knowing about these forums gives you a deeper appreciation for the intricacies of governance and policymaking.
It's like peeking behind the curtain and seeing the gears turning, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You start to understand how ideas are transformed into action, how different voices contribute to the process, and how complex challenges are addressed at the national level. And here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Understanding these forums can empower you to think critically about their effectiveness.
Okay. I'm all ears. Tell me more.
We've discussed how forums influence policy, but are they always successful?
Right.
Do they have enough power to drive real change? Are they truly representative of India's diverse voices?
That's a great point.
These are questions worth pondering.
It's easy to get caught up in the idea that these forums are a cure-all.
Right.
But critically evaluating their strengths and weaknesses is crucial.
Exactly. And that's where your understanding of India's political landscape comes in. You can analyze how these forums fit into the larger system, what challenges they face, and how their effectiveness can be enhanced.
So it's not just about memorizing facts for the UPSC.
Yeah.
It's about developing a deeper understanding of the complexities of governance and policymaking.
Precisely. And that's what makes this knowledge valuable beyond the exam.
Right.
It equips you to be an engaged citizen who can critically assess policies and advocate for positive change.
All right, we've explored the forums on youth and global warming in detail.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick tour of the remaining 6, highlighting their key functions and potential impact.
That sounds good. Let's dive in.
First up, the Forum on Water Conservation and Management.
Okay.
Their primary focus is identifying water-related problems, finding solutions, and making recommendations to the government.
Right.
They also work to involve MPs in conservation efforts within their constituencies.
Imagine a scenario where an MP from a drought-prone region utilizes the forum's recommendations to implement water harvesting projects in their district. That's a tangible example of how these forums can translate into action on the ground.
Next, we have the Forum on Children.
Okay.
They're all about raising awareness among parliamentarians about the issues affecting children's well-being.
Right.
And promoting policies that safeguard their rights.
They also act as a bridge between Parliament and organizations like UNICEF,
Right.
which plays a vital role in advocating for children's rights and providing essential services.
For those who might not be familiar,
Yeah.
UNICEF, or the United Nations Children's Fund, is a global organization dedicated to improving the lives of children worldwide,
Right.
focusing on areas like health education and protection.
The Forum on Population and Public Health tackles another critical aspect of India's development.
Okay.
They delve into